Julian will now tell us about hang gliding.
Yeah, it's called hang gliding because you're so I learned to hang glide way back when I was in university, and then gave up because it turned out I wasn't very good at it, and started to look very dangerous, and I also got a girlfriend. But about 5 years ago, I had a chance to have another go, when this instructor just took me to the top of a hill somewhere in California and said, "Don't worry, honey, it's like riding a bike, you never forget how to do it." And she was completely right about that. Also in the 15 years that it took between when I gave up and started again, they started making gliders much easier to fly and much more fun, which made a difference because I wasn't very good still. But I went straight home and made my own set of colours, picked a new glider, got a new harness that fitted exactly, and felt pretty good about things. Except I still wasn't very good at it because, partly with the landings, I wasn't very good at thinking ahead. As you'll see, on the way towards a hedge, when there's plenty of fields around. So it ended badly again. So quite a few times I thought I'd better go back to school. But there's no school for when you already know how to fly. This is how you learn in England normally. It's just winch you up and you sort of move around a bit. Many people who do hang glide an awful lot, they still remember that the very best flight they ever had was the very first one. Nothing ever comes close, no matter what you do. So if you learn in France, as long as they can teach you to run in a straight line, they put you off this after about 3 days. I recommend everyone does this. And once you're out in the free space, you can do as you like. Sort of second way of doing it is to get a ride with someone. But it's not the same because you don't get to fly with your own wings, which is what this really is about. Anyway, yeah, and this is a pretty important photo because this was after probably the best flight I've done, apart from my very first one, where I was coming into a campsite, and about 1 hour before this was taken, I was right on top of one of these great mountains in the Alps, having flown all the way around. And the thing about this particular mountain is that you can go right across miles and miles of rock, and it slopes just at the right angle that you're not going to hit it on the way down, because you don't have any engine, you know. Even in England you can get quite nice flights, but it gets a bit lonely after a while because there's no one else doing it. Hang gliding used to be really popular in the 80s, but it's pretty uncommon nowadays because everyone's learning to paraglide instead. Which is much easier to learn, far more convenient, easier to pack away and so forth, but doesn't have the same feel of flight as the gliders do, because the glider's more like a dragon. Drachenflieger is German for hang glider, and it's what I call a sort of like not an out-of-body experience, it's a sort of a better body experience, because you're adding a little mechanism, like a bicycle or skis, which become part of you, part of your sensation of interacting with the world. Anyway, I forgot me with the slides. Really. Yeah, so the actual sort of mechanism of the glider is really important, is the way that the wings sweep behind you, and they act like a tail, so it's like a weather vane. That's what keeps you flying in a straight line and not tumbling like you would if you didn't have a tail. The glider's been around for so long and changing shapes over the years that they've even had a vintage rally a while ago. There's one this summer as well. They're all different shapes, like penny farthings were with bicycles before they settled on a common shape. I found another way to fly with friends now, is you go on a competition. And I'm quite happy with this one because I'm way miles up and other people have fallen out and fallen down. This was just last month somewhere in South Wales, coming over Abergavenny. That's a different glider, so I've upgraded to something a little bit sleeker and can fly faster. And this is in the factory getting its wires fixed and all its nuts and bolts changed, because you don't want to take chances with these things. And then you can go along to other competitions. Everyone has much better gliders than you do, with really sleek wings, and I'd really like to have one for my birthday, but it's probably not going to happen. By the way, a group of gliders is called a gaggle. Anyway, so until I get that birthday present, this is how I'm going to be flying, and if anyone wants any details, I can give any handouts and stuff, but it is something unlike anything else, really, but it's difficult to share.